My name's Rowdy Benson. I'm from Sacred Heart Parish in Morristown, South Dakota. I'm 28 years old. About 7-8 years ago, I was in college at Dickinson State University and would attend Mass off and on up there. I used to attend a Sunday night Mass all the time. It seemed like that was a very popular time for the whole town. When I went to Mass there, we were always taught growing up to show up. It was like 10 minutes early all the time. So I'd be at Mass 10 minutes early and it'd be empty. And it seemed like right as the procession started and the priest started to come in, then like a flood of people would come in, not just teenagers or college kids, but parents, grandparents, everybody. It was like the norm to just come after church had started. And when this it took my attention off of the actual Mass, and I started to really watch the people. And I noticed that a lot of these kids sitting with their parents, a lot of, they were wearing their pajamas, or, a lot of college kids might just be in some gym shorts and some stuff. And then watching how different people celebrate the Mass. Some would stand and sing and partake in the prayers. Other people would just be quiet and wouldn't say anything. Instead of genuflecting, it was kind of like a half-hearted, almost like they choked on something. They'd bend over and then slide into the pew. People might sit instead of kneel. So it was just fascinating to see, the different ways everybody celebrated the Mass. And so it really got me wondering why we do all these things we do, and what the point of even going to Mass is if one, we don't even show up early, two, we don't even dress like it's anything special, and three, if we don't even partake in what everything's happening, like why even go? So I was, like I said, I was attending Mass off and on at this time, and this would have been one of the seldom times I showed up, and it, to me, it wasn't encouraging at all. And I called home, and it was almost like my mom had been waiting for that question for 20 years. And I asked why we do all the things we do. And it seemed like the next day I had a stack of Scott Hahn books, for me to read and start learning and going through things like that. And so I feel like my mom really did help foster a sense of discipleship and how to point me down the right path of following the Lord. And I feel like, God gave me a mom that was really looking out for me and just waiting for me to come home.
My name is Miranda Benson, and I belong to the Sacred Heart Parish in Morristown, South Dakota. I've known that my grandma has always been praying for me. She's always told me that she prays for us grandchildren every single day. And growing up, I guess I just, knew my prayers and whatever else, but I didn't really have a relationship with God. Even being Lutheran, we had all these rules of, what does it mean to be a Christian? You don't do this, you don't do this, you have to do this. And it wasn't until I became Catholic and started studying more about the faith, but learning why we do these things. And I think through learning the whys, I began to develop this relationship with a person and not necessarily a church or a building or a rule maker. Like, he became a real person to me. I think I've learned more doing the youth program here, like teaching confirmation and life teen, then I've learned more teaching that than I have throughout the whole time I've been Catholic.